Alright, this is a quick one on why I use X11 instead of wayland. Alright, because I had the option when I was installing Void, I could have gone through the process instead of installing XFCE. I could have installed GNOME or KDE or something, and I could have had wayland. And I think I do actually have some wayland components installed because something needs it. I forget, it's a dependency of something. But basically, I've run so many different distributions, and every time I use a distribution that has wayland, I always try out this bug to see if I can reproduce it. And what it is, I have a full AMD computer. So I've got a 6900 XT, 5800X, I've got a Gigabyte X470 motherboard. And other than I have to use an HDMI cable because I bought high quality DisplayPort with the proper spec cables and tried to hook them up to this monitor, and I can only get 4K 30 over DisplayPort, but I can get 4K 60 over HDMI, whereas on Windows I can use either one. So I just use HDMI and it's fine. I don't know why exactly that is. I don't know if it has to do with my AMD driver or something. So, because I use the open source one, I think. But basically, I have this bug where if I leave my screen on for too long and I haven't set a hibernate or like a sleep mode, and my display never goes to sleep, then what happens is eventually that display will crash and I'll come back and there's a black screen. And this takes a few hours to do, but I've been able to reproduce it because I've tried it on multiple different distributions and desktop environments and window managers. And I think what I used to do is I used to go to the back of my computer, unplug and plug back in my monitor, and that would fix it. But on Gen 2, I went to the black screen and I went in blind and I opened a terminal and typed init6. And what that did was I saw the TTY pop up and my computer rebooted. And I was like, oh, so something about the wayland session is crashing. It's not my display itself, but I'm losing my display basically. So I was like, I could set a sleep mode, but I don't always want a sleep mode. Sometimes I actually, if I'm like watching a movie or something, I want the computer to stay on for a few hours, but sometimes I would want it to sleep for 10 minutes or so, and I need to control when that happens. So I was like, well, I could either manually suspend my computer every time, but what I usually do is just turn off my monitor. And that one bug is kind of what kept me on X for now, because I don't have this bug with Xorg. I can leave my computer on indefinitely without ever going to sleep, and it'll just work. So if you ever want that one bug on wayland that seems to, stop you from using it, that's the bug for me. So that's why I don't mind using wayland on my laptop, because my laptop is never on for extended periods of time where the screen is. And honestly, I don't think I'd have that bug on my laptop because it seemed like it was something specific to my hardware. I've only seen one other person report this bug, and just nobody seems to know what the fuck the issue is. It's so weird. And I'm thinking eventually what'll happen is I might get I'm moving soon, so I'm not bringing this desktop with me. So I'll have plenty of time to use wayland where it actually does just work for me. But for right now, I'm like, well, I'm using XFCE, and they've got a roadmap to get wayland support in. And almost everything works, kinda. Not yet, a lot of things are still broken. But I'm thinking to myself, well, by the time XFCE gets wayland, then this bug will probably be fixed and I'll be fine. Or God forbid, I can set a fucking sleep mode, I can set a timer where if I idle too long it'll go to sleep, and that'll be fine. But yeah, that's really all I can think of right now. That's really the one thing keeping me from using wayland. I think I was using wayland on GNOME with Gen 2. Yeah, I was still stuck with wayland, and I was able to make my videos and do audio production and video editing and everything worked fine. It was just that one bug that always fucked me over, and I never figured it out. and I still can't figure it. It may just be a fucking problem with this GPU. It could be with the 6900 XT or with mine specifically. Um, and I really just can't be fucked upgrading my GPU right now. I don't think it's worth it, to fix this one, because especially I'm not bringing this computer with me, so I don't really have to worry about it. This is something I deal with right now. That's about all. Thanks.